keep in view that some of us make sacrifices for our relationships, and those sacrifices turn around to haunt us. I'll leave our anchor to tell the full story that we want to discuss. But the
Okay.
ba- but the basic thing is we're just discussing some sacrifices we make that end up destroying ourselves and haunting us later.
All right. So that is based on the story that we watched about a woman who got married, and it turned out that the husband was owing someone, and the person that he was owing was going to have him thrown in a cell, but the they had an agreement eventually that he would give his wife to him to sleep with, and then that will cancel out the debt. But after that, the the man now started having difficulties having intimacy with his wife because he was uncomfortable because of what had transpired. And so you are now relating it to when people make sacrifices for their spouses. Oh, eventually that marriage crashed, right? Because that destroyed any intimacy they could have. That's it, right?
Basically, but
Essentially, yeah.
basically, but we need to fill it in.
But what you really want to talk about is making sacrifices, and despite the
Yeah,
sacrifices, yes.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we want to talk
Like
about.
it's
But we
not
need to
serial.
emphasize the point that it wasn't a casual sacrifice. It wasn't. It was a consensus between both of them for the sacrifice to be made. Um, it wasn't that the lady was particularly frivolous and the man actually originated it.
Okay. But we don't really want to use just that story, right? We want to talk about making sacrifices, and then your focus is
Use
that
this.
despite
You
making the sacrifices, people still turn around and act
want to,
or show
yeah,
that they are not grateful. And then you suffer for the sacrifice that you made. That's what you're saying, right?
yes, and the relationships are not necessarily built on sacrifices.
Okay. Tony, do you want to make a contribution to this now?
All right. So, I mean, I watched the video, and like I said, I'm familiar with the story. And for starters, sacrifice in every kind of relationship is actually a beautiful thing, more so in marriage. However, um, sacrifice should not become self erasure. Love is not meant to cost someone their dignity, their integrity, their safety, or their
Your
identity.
well-being.
Yes, their well-being. Love is not meant to cost us that. But do we have to make sacrifice? Of course, in every human relationship, even in workplaces, for strangers, we do make sacrifices, right? How much more in committed relationships like a marriage? So the issue is not the sacrifice itself. It's ensuring that the sacrifice doesn't lead to self erasure. I like to put it that way because in trying to do something for the other person, trying to do something for the unit, because the sacrifices usually are not selfish, they are for a higher purpose, right? A common good. But you
So,
have to make sure that it's actually not something that would hurt you in the process. Once sacrifice becomes something that can hurt you, something that costs you your dignity, then it has moved from a loving or reasonable sacrifice to control and abuse. I think that's my initial thoughts on the topic. Not to say that sacrifice itself is a bad thing, but we must never sacrifice to the point that we lose ourselves and our sanity, our well being in the process.
All right. So, Bishop, what are you saying? Because if you ask me, I would think that I would say that a lot of the things that we call sacrifice, you can call it a sacrifice, but somebody else will look at it and have a different interpretation. You know, so
Please
the way,
explain. What do you mean? A
yeah.
different
But
interpretation.
I will let Bishop speak on it, and then I'll come back because the way Bishop said it, I I actually I actually find it difficult to see where a person makes a sacrifice for someone in love, if it is about love, that you love someone. I don't think that it's not black and white, but I don't think that it's very easy to actually do something for someone out of love and then end up getting betrayal out of it, right?
Hmm.
Yes. And I mean it very seriously because a lot of the things that we we just interpret things from a very selfish position in a lot of the things that we do, and when we put certain principles in mind when we're doing things, it'll change our perception and our understanding of even what we are doing.
I've seen people who, knowing that they didn't have the privilege of maybe a university education, decided to send their spouse through university while being traders or something like that.
Mhm.
And the lady graduates, and her standard of living and exposure becomes such that the man is somehow not measuring up to her level. And almost always it fails. Is that not sacrificial?
This is one example that I love to use. This one that you
Uh-huh.
mentioned.
But
It's
is it?
not this. This is I know about this personally. Like happened. Somebody I know that it happened to. Trader, Bishop, I don't
Yes.
know how it happens to be the same thing. The guy, a trader, he
Uh-huh.
sent this person is actually my relative. He sent
Okay.
my relative is the lady, sent my relative through school, like sponsored and everything. Everyone thought they were going to get married. And
And
then
she moves on.
when she finished, he was no longer
Yeah.
good enough because he's a common trader and
Yeah.
she's a graduate. Now, my perspective on that issue, I don't know if it will be the same with yours, but I'm just saying that situation that you pointed out, it's a real situation that I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Fantastic.
come
Now,
back to your
before
perspective
before
after Bishop speaks.
before we
Yeah.
even go deeper, I have other instances. We have mentioned one type of sacrifice.
Okay.
The one we are discussing is yet another type, where a lady who just got married less than 3 months, in love with her husband, and then the police comes and picks the man because he's owing somebody about 300 and something thousand naira those days. And the lady is going to the cell every day crying. My husband, we just wedded. All they gathered was about 50,000 or thereabouts. Paid the man. The guy came out and to continue the balance of the payment, and he ran out of capacity. And then they gathered 20,000 naira more, which was nothing. The owner of the money is like, you people want to break my money into pieces, which will make it unable to achieve for me what I want to achieve with my money. So in the course of the conversation, the man begins to develop interest in the lady. And the husband now encourages his wife to allow him to be interested in herself. And the lady looked at her husband in bewilderment. But the police took the husband, and then, cut a long story short, eventually the man first, well, encourages his wife to accept a compromised relationship for the purposes of bailing him out of his immediate problem. And that actually happens, and the man is really, really bailed out. And suddenly, the lady begins to look very dirty and very, silly to him. He couldn't get himself to loving his wife back after the incident. And subsequently, they had a child actually, but the man continued to treat her very shabbily. Eventually, the marriage failed. This is another sacrifice in another format. Now, there is yet a third one. People send people to study, to improve on themselves. One of my pastor friends employs people, trains them as tech people in his church, gives them training, spends a lot of money, and they come back and they're working in the technical department in the church, mostly media unit. It's a fairly big church. Almost always, all those trained people empty out into this Canada where Ozo is.
Okay.
Now, is that not sacrificial?
Okay, but I,
The-
I thought we're talking about intimate relationships so that we can focus on that first.
okay,
But
if
okay,
we, it's a sacrifice as well,
okay, yes.
because what I'm saying is my drift or my trajectory is that personally, I have seen that sacrifices are usually not what sustains relationship,
Mm,
whether it's about affection or employment, it doesn't matter what it is.
okay.
Because some people try to use sacrifice to get commitment,
From the
Oh
other
my
person.
gosh.
Hmm.
and
Oh,
almost always it fails.
oh, I love that. How do you like that, Tony? I love it. Sacrifices do not sustain relationships.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Alone, caveat.
Yeah, yeah, that caveat is important. We're not saying that sacrifices are bad. We're not saying that one cannot, should, or can or should not. But what we're saying is if you just want to use sacrifices to get a commitment, you know,
Which leads me
it's
to what I was going to say. I was going to say that what we call sacrifices in that sense, really, think about it. Certain things that people do, you're doing them, even many times when people say, I love this person, many times
it's not
the
love.
action,
Many of them
no,
are looking for many
actually,
of
many,
such.
many times the actions that people take and say, I did it after everything I did for this person. Because
Uh-huh.
you are with that woman or you are with that man, and you keep on bending and doing different things. So she's not appearing to really care. So you decide, I'm going to buy her a plot of land, I'm going to build her parents a house, I'm going to buy her a car. All those things that you're doing those things because you want to secure her love. Or the woman who decides to give herself to a man, who decides to keep quiet even though she doesn't really want this, and then she ends up getting pregnant and all this. And you say, all I did is because I love this person. All those things, if you really look at it, if you want to look at it critically, where you are doing those things and believing that You are doing them because you love the person. But it is really,
Transactional.
it's really ourselves that we're doing those things for.
No, no, no. Maybe
Let,
we
let,
can
let me, huh?
caveat, caveat,
Yeah,
Tony's caveat. Are you
transactional.
do, there is a transaction aspect which is very critical,
Yeah.
and the other part is why.
Why what?
You know, why are you doing what you're doing?
That is what it is. It's because if you didn't have that thing to get from that person, the real question is,
Would
would
you
you
do it?
do it? Would you do it if you knew that this person would not give you the thing, that because you're hoping to get something after you've done that?
In other words, Uzo, is love really selfless?
No, in other words, is it love? Is it really love?
Lots of issues are popping up.
That's the question. Is it really love for that person or love for yourself? And that is
Hmm.
why that is
Very,
why
very important questions.
that is why I say that if you look at the principles of life, the universal principles of life, when these things are written in, we can find a lot of them in the Bible. But people look at the Bible as a religious thing that I do because I'm doing it to please God. But I know that the principles there are principles of life, whether you are a Christian or you are not a Christian, right? So if we can just go and look at those things, because if you even take financial books, if you take whatever you take, you will see that the principles are coming. They've written these things because they've seen that our forefathers from different races, different cultures, and all that, they noticed some things about life. And those things were put there. And then somebody came and lied.
I don't agree, Uzo. Whose forefathers? Did my African forefathers contribute to the Bible?
The
Did they,
Bible,
did
no,
they
just
not
a moment. No, no, it depends on the version of the Bible you're
have
talking about.
experiences?
It depends on the version of the Bible you're talking about.
Did
Because the
they
Bible
not
that
have
we, the
did they
Bible that
not
was
have
brought to us in Nigeria,
experiences that are
Can I
valid today?
can I can
Why
I
am I
can
relying on European
no, no, no,
or
no, 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 no.
or
No, that is you are interpreting what I'm saying
allow him to
as the
land?
no,
King
Allow
James
him to
no,
land.
European
no.
Bible.
Allow him
My
to land.
issue is with you using something that is
Mhm.
clearly contextual and making it universal. It
Can I
is not
land? Can I
universal.
land? Can I land?
It is
What
not universal.
those things
That's
that
my
we
issue
find
with
there.
this. I don't have a problem with people who believe what you believe, but don't make it universal. It's
I
not
am glad
universal.
that you brought this up because it gives me the
African
opportunity.
grandparents and ancestors, their experiences were not captured in that Bible that you talk about. If anything was captured, it's in the form of slavery
I am glad that you brought this up, Tony,
that it was
because
captured.
I'm glad that you brought it up because I wouldn't even want anyone to think that what you are saying now is what I mean. Because you are talking about the King James version that was brought to us in Nigeria, in Africa, generally. That's what you're talking about. That's not what I'm talking
I
about.
don't know. I don't know
That's not
about versions. I'm not familiar with the King James version.
so the things
I
that I'm
know about
talking
the Good
about,
News version, and I
the
know
things
that
that
what
I'm
is
talking
important for
about,
this
Can I
right?
for
can
this
I
version to
can
be
I
saved.
help? Can I bring
No,
about
no,
the
no. The things
balance?
that I'm talking about, they are not only in the Bible, but because I never read the Quran, I didn't read the book of Buddhists. I didn't read others. However, I've seen enough of even those other people talk about these same principles. And the only reason I'm mentioning the Bible is because majority of our audience, they are aware of those particular things, right? So that's why I had to say that those things are from different, it's not religion, it's not Christianity.
I,
That's
I'm
that, that's the
raising
point I'm
I'm
trying to make.
raising my hand. I'm raising my
Right.
hand. First of all, there was a thought pattern we were developing when this interjection came. Let me clear this interjection. There are laws that are natural laws.
That's my point.
Natural laws are like statutes of general applications. Typical example, there is no culture in this world where a man sleeping with a goat is approved of. Yes or no?
Of course. There's
I
no
don't even
such.
know.
All right. Take it for granted that it is so. It's just like legal
But it looks
practice.
abominable anyway, naturally. It looks
It's
Uh,
abominable.
bestiality.
no, no, let me learn. The what do you call it? The English common law, which is the foundational document that laws of those in the Western Hemisphere derives from, are laws that are naturally applicable.
We have to be careful now. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm being very careful. I'm being very careful. It is from my wide range of studies that I'm saying what I'm saying. Now, but you find that that common law has its roots in Christian values.
so that's what they claim. They claim that that is Christianity. That is a
It's not.
claim.
It's
That's
not
that's
they
a claim.
claim. It's not about they claim.
Hmm.
I am. I am talking with certainty. If you have ever practiced law, that's what they call the English common law.
Anyway, what, Bishop, I think we're in agreement on the points that you're trying to make, right? So
So,
let's
so
not,
the point
that
I'm
will bring
therefore
another
making is that
conversation.
the
I
point
am
I'm
not
saying,
in agreement with everything
yeah, but
Yeah,
the
that
but
point I'm
you.
saying,
no, but you're in agreement with the fact that
But I
that
know
there are
this.
universal
I
I
laws,
have not.
right?
Wait now.
But
Let's
I do not agree on some things.
no.
I just want to
Let's.
put it out there.
There are parameters of the conversation now. There are parameters which, in which case, we can take some things for granted.
Mhm.
Yeah. The simple thing I'm just trying to say is that the reference to what Bible and the common law is not a contradiction. It flows naturally because there are things that apply across board.
Let's put it
Uh,
this way, Bishop, which I
uh-huh.
know is Tony's point, right? It's because when we the way that I said it and the way that you are sounding, it is sounding as if the Christian ways or principles are the things that we're supposed to look at to be a
Mm-mm.
guide for us.
That's not
No,
my point.
I think that that is the message that Tony was saying. Don't put that message out there because I don't agree with it. I think
But that's
am I
not the
am I right?
that's not that's not the
Yes,
message I am
that's
putting out
what I
there.
take exception to
Uh-huh.
because it has not accounted, for instance, for the
So
African culture and traditional religions
so
in
but I think
the
that
in the
you were
in the philosophies of life. When you talk about the English common law, it's a Western thing. That can be a universal way of looking at things because even before the common law, even before the advent of
we
Christianity,
existed.
my forefathers existed and they had
Yeah.
their ways of life that guided them, deep wisdom. So I cannot say that another person's way supersedes my forefathers' ways. I can't.
Tony,
I can't
you,
agree with that.
what is what I see here. I am not even a proponent or a what would I say? I am not in agreement with discarding my own forefathers. That is you heard me say, but I think that you preempted me because you wanted to make sure that you made that point. Because you heard me say our forefathers. My forefathers are not Westerners. Our forefathers and our ancestors, right? So my point was that even those things, the things that our ancestors and our forefathers believed and practiced and observed about life, they are captured there. Never mind that maybe a Westerner who believes in his culture and his religion took the same things and put in their own religion, right? Whether they
Mhm.
put it there or not, it is still what our own forefathers and ancestors
Exactly.
believed
Exactly.
and noticed
I,
Yes.
about life.
I don't agree because it waters down
Okay, okay,
our own ways of life and
okay,
puts it
okay. What
under
you're saying is why
other
are we
people's
seeing it?
ways of
Why are we
life.
seeing it through
The
there? Why are we
Bible
looking at it
you are
through there?
using as your reference has
Yes.
no account whatsoever for my African roots, my African experiences.
Okay.
Any mention of my any Africanness in the Bible is to slavery. That is the
Okay.
only reference. So don't
I
say
love
that.
this.
Don't
Because it
say
will
that
help me.
that
It'll
I
help
book
me.
don't
It'll
agree
is
help
with that.
me.
capturing my forefathers' ways of life. He doesn't. That is not factual.
I
All
don't
right.
agree.
Some
I
No,
don't.
things
I have
can link.
learned. I know. I
Some
love
things
this.
can link. Philosophies can link from Buddha, from different cultures. They can link. But you can't say that a book is the repository of all the philosophies. No,
Who said
that
that?
is not right.
Who said that a book is a repository
You
of
are
all the philosophy?
saying the Bible has all of the wisdom
No,
about people's lived experiences.
no.
I'm saying it accounts for only a section of society. It does not account universally. So my issue is with taking something contextual or sectional and making it a universal reference point. That is my issue. I don't
My
mind that adherents follow it. I don't have a problem with it, but don't make it a universal thing. That's
Tony,
my issue.
I like what you're saying. I agree with you, but I refuse for you to make me look as if I am a person who believes that the Bible contains everything about everybody, because that's not what I said. That is
It's the
exactly.
way you
that
framed
is
it.
only
It's
your
the way it came
interpretation.
across. It's the
That is
way it
only
came.
your no.
In
That's because
fact,
you
It's not
in
my
fact,
interpretation.
have that preconcept. That's why I preempted
yes.
my statement by saying you don't even have to be a Christian. That's why I said that, right? But
Yes,
because you already have that notion in your
it
mind,
supposes that the Christian book captures everything,
but it does not.
including my African experiences. But no, they never thought about me when they were doing that. It's their ways of life.
Funny
Don't
now.
impose
See,
it.
see. What matters now is that the points that you're raising, right, is already something that I believe and agree with, right? But when you keep on talking about it, it's like we've already agreed on it. Do you not? Why do you feel like we should keep on talking about it? We've already agreed on it.
No, because
I agree with it. I don't know
I
if
have
this
a
agrees with it.
conversation with people. People are of different creeds, beliefs. And so when you reference and you say, it appears like this is the sounding board, this is the basis for
Mhm.
everything I'm saying.
Me, I'm
I
taking correction from you because what you say is what I believe. And so when I speak, I would like to rephrase it because I don't want to be the one promoting another idea which I know does not capture the fullness of humanity. So what you've said is just helping me to correct my presentation. I agree with what you said totally. And thank you for
thank
bringing that
you.
up, right? So if we can get back to the point is that a principle of life is for human beings, a guiding principle is love your neighbor as yourself. Now, the reason why I mentioned the Bible is because I don't know, we don't have a written thing. We Africans, we don't have a written thing. The Chinese have, the Indians have, and which is why they didn't adopt other people's religions, right? But what we have in Nigeria, we have the Quran and the Bible, and that is captured there. So if I'm speaking, even if I say the Bible, I can't say the Quran because I haven't read it. So my only reference is the Bible. Let that just be understood. However, my overarching point is, if you want to know what love is for human beings, every human being on this earth, whether it's an intimate relationship between a romantic one or family one, love your neighbor as yourself. Once you can factor that in what you are doing, then you will know if what you are doing is actually due to the love that you have for someone or for yourself. Because the sacrifices that people cry about in relationships, most of the time, you look at it, if this person knew, if they had lenses to see the future and they knew this person would not give me this thing that I would want from them, how
Would
many
they do
people will still
it?
go ahead to do that thing? That's really the question. That's when you will know that you're
But
doing it out of love and you're sacrificing for them, or you're sacrificing for yourself,
but
but it looks like you're sacrificing for them.
in the particular case in question that we are discussing, the lady is a wife
Mm-hmm,
bound with a common destiny with her husband,
mm-hmm.
and the man encourages her to go ahead and do it and get us out of this mess. So even if you look at the future, What future was she trying to protect? She was already married. She
I
didn't
can.
need to.
Mhm.
She didn't need to do that for the marriage to be consummated. The marriage was already consummated.
I can give my own understanding of it. Tony, would you like to go
No,
and
go
then?
ahead, Uzo. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So if I found myself, this is supposed to be a man that you're married to, is supposed to be your husband, and then now he is okay for you to sleep with another man so that he does not spend the time in jail. When you are looking at it, the reasoning here is that she doesn't want him to be taken away from her and go and spend time in jail when she might as well just sleep with this other person. Right there, right there. I'm saying we're adults when we're doing these things. When you're doing something today, what do you think? If you plant beans in the ground, what are you going to harvest? It's not going to be pineapple, it's going to be beans. So if as an adult, I leave my husband and I go to sleep with someone else because I want to help him to secure or pay off a debt, I need to think about it. By the time I'm coming back to him, before I met him, is he someone who would have been okay for to be sharing me with other people? If that is not who he is and he's only doing it because of this, that right there should tell me something. By the time I've gone to that man and come back, how is he? You are not innocent. If you're an adult with a reasoning brain, right? How is he going to take this? This is a man that you say is your husband, so you know him. How is he going to take it? Is he someone who, if before I had been sleeping with people, he would have been okay with it? Do you think that all of a sudden that would change who he is?
It's different, Uzo, when the man is the person proposing it.
Okay.
It's not that
What
easy
is his reason for proposing it? Isn't it because
because
he will avoid going to jail?
keeping him out of jail because of their shared future. Their shared future is him being productive again and taking care of the
No.
home. If he's
Before
locked up,
before they got married, why did he not reveal
he
this thing
won't be
to her?
able
She
to.
never
He
even
won't be able
knew.
to take care. No,
Why did you marry the woman
I'm not
knowing that
justifying.
you
I'm
when you
just
was
trying
marrying her? Mhm.
for us to look at the rationale, not
For us to,
justification,
for us,
us to look at where each person is coming from, not justifying
But
for
ab
us,
initio, he
point
was
here.
already dishonest ab initio because before he married this woman did not know this man was indebted to such an extent. He was not
Yes,
even transparent.
oh
So
my
already you
God.
know you're dealing with somebody who is not transparent because you got into that marriage to go and find this thing out, right? So that tells you already if you are dealing with somebody that you cannot even, he's not reliable. He's not reliable. So see, even as I speak, this is not saying that I know everything. This is saying that we must take responsibility for our own actions. We can't turn around and say, oh, I'm blaming this man because he encouraged this thing and now he's doing this. When we don't take responsibility for our own actions, we will forever be doing things because all that we are focusing on is what that person is going to do. Or you can only control what you do and what you create. We have to grow up and be adults and be responsible for our own choices, even when we're dealing with someone else. That's why I said, I don't know how you can be surprised and say that somebody surprised you and betrayed you. Another thing is when I'm dealing with you, right? Like the people that I talked about, or the one who paid the school fees, the one who, what did I talk about? The one who bought a house for the parents and all that. All those things that you're doing. When you ask yourself, the person that you're doing it for, you claim you love the person. You claim that you love that person. What was I trying to say? Yeah,
the basis
you
of
claim
the action.
you
What
claim
is
that
your
you love that
motivation?
person, right? You think
Hmm.
about it. If that person, the thing that you're giving to that person in return, is it a fair exchange? Do you understand what I mean? The man who is a farmer or a trader and he pays school fees for a girl a beautiful young girl that he sees, he wants to pay her school fees so that she will come back and marry him. You think about it. Do you think that what you are giving to her in exchange, she goes to school, she comes back after all that exposure, when she comes back to you, what type of life are you expecting her to be happy with living with you when you're doing that thing?
So it's
Those
not that simple.
are very
It's not
valid.
that simple.
It
Oh.
is really that simple. It is really that simple. It is, because when you're doing it, you're overcome with what you're going to get. That's what we
It's
do
not.
when we
It's
when
not.
no,
No.
see,
No. No. No.
Valentine's
No. No.
just passed.
No.
Valentine's
No.
just
No.
passed. You know, some
Just
people.
hold on. Can you please hold on? Can you please just hold on? Just take a deep breath. Hold on. We're all. Let's be at this on the same page. Yeah. We the gentleman who sends his wife to be to school, they have agreed that they want to get married, and he notices that this girl is endowed, at least intellectually, and he sacrifices himself for her to be at her best.
There's nothing
He,
wrong with that. But did she also notice, does this girl, when she sees me, is she excited about me, or is it this thing that I am doing for her that she wants? Because if she's from a poor home and she needs to
he,
go to school, what do you
he-
really expect her to say?
there's
No,
an
don't pay my
assumption.
school fees.
No, there's an assumption you're making. The assumption is that he went and took her from her home to send her to school because she has a need. But what we are considering is there's a relationship between two people. And in the process of time, one of the persons in this relationship develops themselves a bit further. Tony, am I on our page?
Yes.
And then after the development itself truncates the foundation, which is the relationship. Okay, it's just like a guy gets married and children begin to come into the marriage, and the woman, in her love for her children, replaces the children with the love for her husband. Does it make sense? Can you see the corollary there?
No, I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm struggling too.
Okay. Now,
Oh, she begins to give attention to the children, the
of course,
attention
it's
from the
natural. In
husband.
fact, it's happening in so many homes.
But it is not right.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. These are the things we are discussing. Two of us got married. We love each other.
Are you
And the Lord,
sure?
and the Lord adds to us because children are a natural consequence of affection between two people.
Bishop, you know what?
And then one of the parties misplaces things in the sense that what brought these children is our affair, is our relationship. It is not the children that brought our relationship up. It happens so many times. I am saying that just like in the case of the man who trained his wife or his girlfriend, the relationship is the basis of their being together in the very first place.
Bishop.
Okay, okay,
The
let me
thing,
stop here. Maybe I'm on a different tangent.
the thing is this, really, every time that we enter a relationship, between you and I, between myself and Tony, there is always a basis for the relationship, right? It's
I
just
don't
that
know.
we may not be
I don't
conscious
know.
of it.
I don't know. Me,
No,
I don't know about that too.
no, no.
Maybe other persons
Everything
may
that
know.
we do, everything that we do, there's a reason. You are when you go get into a relationship with someone, you are definitely giving something, and you are definitely taking something. You are definitely giving something, because otherwise, you might just as well go and lie down in your room, be on your bed. There's a reason why you are existing in that relationship, right? Anyhow, will I say it's either a symbiotic or a parasitic relationship. So there's something there. Now, the people who create relationships, a lot of us, we're not conscious when we're creating relationships. That's the thing with, intimate relationships. A lot of us, myself included, right? It is only, Tony, yeah, I said all of us, when we're creating intimate relationships, myself included, we are not conscious of what we are doing. It is only after some time with 20 is it what is it with looking back that you will now realize,
In
right,
retrospect,
in retrospect,
retrospectively.
and after some time with life, with seeing life, that's when you become conscious of it, so that next time you now know that you need to know yourself really, and know whenever you are about to, what do I want from this relationship? Because it's when you don't know. But most of the time, people don't know. That's why people will meet. A lot of the marriages that we are seeing, where the issues are coming up with all these things, it's really because people really did not think in that way. People did not know themselves before getting into the marriage. That's why you see that woman will get into the marriage and she's giving the attention to the children, taking away the attention from the man. Do you think that it is a natural thing? People think it's a natural thing. It is not. It is really because of the foundation of because you see the couples where that doesn't happen. When they happen to have hit that proper foundation, it doesn't happen because they know I am here for you, you are here for me. The children are just our companions in this thing.
This is the foundation. Yes.
And when I'm
Now,
saying it,
now,
I'm not
hold
trying to
on.
sound like I'm saying for
Can,
all of us.
can you hold on? Let me just introduce something. Is it possible that the issue is a knowledge that can be picked up?
That's my intention. That is what I want people to know. But people will
Uh-huh.
keep on arguing, wanting to point fingers. She did, he did. That's why I keep on telling Shaya, stop it, stop the he did, she did. Let us look at, because if we need to come back and tell the truth, I am how many years old? How old are you? How old are you? What is it that you have seen that led you to the things that you are not happy with the outcome? Come, let us look. You will see that you have a contribution. And when you know that you have a contribution, you can go and tell younger people, this is what you should look at inside yourself, right?
Exactly. So that then makes a conversation such as this very, very necessary and relevant, because it is in a platform like this that we can begin to teach people when you're making sacrifices. That was a very beautiful point Tony made. Don't dehumanize yourself in the name of trying to make a sacrifice.
Yeah.
The fact that you made that sacrifice may not necessarily be what will buy you the commitment you really need.
In
So
fact, yeah.
it is platforms like this. You know, some people may look at us, it looks like we're just making arguments, but we're trying to communicate life principles. Life is about principles. The first degree I have, we do a lot of principles and practice. Principles and practice. Once you get the principles right, the practice becomes
Yeah.
a done deal.
Mhm.
So people must learn principles of life. Don't love me because you think I'm going to pay your school fees.
Will you love me? Will you love that person if this thing that they are providing is
We're
not
not
from
possible.
if
Exactly.
they are unable to give you this thing? So actually, what I say to people is, you know what? Love this person, even if the person decides that they want to be somewhere else or with somebody else. You say you love the person. The love doesn't require anything. That is all that matters.
Can I tell you something, Uzo? Take this from me. You know why? I deal with people.
You what?
Church, church is
Oh,
about people. Huh? What many of us define love to be is fundamentally wrong. we need to go back to asking what exactly is love.
Hmm. That's the fact. That's what it
If
is.
if you bring 100 young girls, 100, I'm trying to make it a statistical conversation. You may find that more than 75 of them, that's 75%, think that I love him because he can buy me a Hugo bag whenever I want. He can take me out whenever I want. He can meet my needs. So the man is simply a provider,
It's transactional,
just
basically.
a transaction. There is no
Really,
love in it at all. All you want is your needs to be met.
really. That's why when people are telling you about their spouse, oh, he did this, she did that, he's not doing, he's not. You really have to. What they don't even understand is that they don't even love that person. They don't. What they're on, they're angry because they're not getting what they want from that person, right? They think that they love the person. Because if you did, you won't come and be telling me this and that about the person. You will just keep your love in your, okay, I will just love her, I will just love him. I will like, he can't do it, she can't do it. In fact, you will release the person. Release the person. Let them go and do that thing that makes them happy.
Again, it's not that simple.
It is that simple. The reason it's not that simple is because everything that we do in our lives becomes practice, right? So we are used to, our brains are used to
How I
not
wish,
thinking of it in that way.
how I wish I had access to that lady as she was in the process of making decision to support her husband. Now,
We should listen. She will listen.
hold on, just hold on. A lot of times we don't give people the benefit of the doubt. Let it be that somebody said something different from how your mind is working, and let it be that you didn't take it.
But most
Now,
people will not
this,
even tell her something different. Most people will encourage you. Will
don't worry
encourage you
about
to do
most.
it. Do it
Hold
So,
because
on,
you
wait.
love the
let's
person.
hear Bishop. Let's hear
Hold
Bishop.
on,
Let's hear
hold on, hold on.
I'm
Just
sorry.
take some breath. Hold on. I keep reminding you that your role here is that you're building a building blocks for life. Sometimes you present as even arguing with yourself because what
That's
you're
it.
trying to achieve is for people to learn.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yes.
We're not
That's
trying
true.
to we're not trying to make people see all the sides to it. No. My
Yeah.
objective is learn from what you are discussing. Now,
Yeah.
if we can create the opportunity for people to always have this counseling, this guidance, this platform for an alternate opinion. I don't have the data, but I am of the view that more than 65% of the problems of life will be solved.
I'm in agreement with a lot of the problems will be solved. Because we really don't
Yes,
just sit
they
back and
don't
keep
know.
saying,
The lady who, for instance, is blessed with two children, in her love for her children, she places the children between herself and her husband, is loving her children, but she does not know that she's isolating the man.
how will she not know?
Oh my goodness. You're not dealing with people, though. Why are you asking such a question? Do
I
you
don't
think that
know.
she doesn't set out to abuse her husband? That's not her objective.
No,
But she does not know that the implication of her action is that the man is isolated.
don't forget that these things are not independent of each other because even the man, it's that's why I keep on going back to it's all of us, all of us, all of us. Because even the man, the man is busy waiting for her to show me that you love me. She is busy waiting for, and I don't even know how to put it, right? The bottom
Let me
line is
help.
that the bottom
Let
line,
me
the
help.
bottom line
Let
is
me help you put it. Let me help you put it. Our conversation is that we must be careful how we make sacrifices. That in our making of our sacrifices, you don't destroy something else. That's our conversation tonight. Tony, are you in agreement?
I
Well,
would
yes,
rephrase
the
it.
way you framed it earlier, I like it, Bishop, when you said sacrifice
Does
alone
not
cannot sustain
sustain
a
relationship.
relationship
Commitment.
or love or commitment.
Yes.
Yes. A
Yes.
lot of the time, even Bishop, you may not like this, but this expression is even relevant to those people that stay in abusive relationships because they say they are sacrificing for their children. Some women and men stay on in abusive relationships because they feel that this is the way to make this whole unit hold it together, and they are thinking there's a miracle that will happen somewhere, this person will change, that person will change, and they keep sacrificing. Sometimes your continuous giving of yourself in that way
Yes.
is not what will change that situation. If that person is not your person, no matter how much you can't sacrifice or love somebody in quotes into commitment or submission. So
Well,
you can sleep with a man and give him 10,000 styles. It will not, if the man is not your person, it will not make him love you more. You can give all your money to a man, give all your money to a woman. If that person is not your person, they still won't love you the way that you feel that you deserve to be loved. A lot of
what
times we want to buy
You want to
love.
buy. Mhm.
exactly? The-
The sacrifices we make, whether it's money, whether it is in the case of this woman, going out of your way to do something that you wouldn't normally do,
to
for
protect to
yes.
And you know the thing, people don't decide I'm not going to love Tony. I'm not going to love Bishop. People don't decide that. It's like when you see I have a nature that is my nature because of the life that I've had, because of the path of life, the roads that I've walked, the experiences, the things that I've been exposed to. As a result, when I meet with Sheye somewhere, there are things that are my values, my priorities that I lean towards. And if Sheye is finding those things, you know, we can't help it. But I might decide that I love Sheye and I want to be in Sheye's life, and I begin to sacrifice and do all sorts of things. The thing is, we are not working this, it is we are being unequally yoked. So can we understand that um, you can't put a square peg in a round hole? It's not going to fit. Love is
see,
not by force. If I
see,
say that I love Sheye, I will just love Sheye, whether Sheye wants to be with me or not. I love him. Anytime he comes and he needs something from me, I do it for him. But I understand that he can't be with me. He needs to be in a place where he's comfortable.
thank God, thank God for your understanding. The role of this platform is to bring this illumination to virtually everyone in our society so that we can begin to understand the meaning of love, so that we can all begin to understand that I don't go into a relationship because the man gives me everything I want. Even in marriage, I have seen cases where people get pregnant in a relationship and people say you must marry because you're pregnant. And I say no. He she has had a baby for you and you have had a baby from a woman. The next thing is, do you think you can marry this person? Do you love this person as much as to give your life to her? not marrying simply because there's a problem.
This is how people's lives get wasted. You know, we had this conversation on this platform before. And a
The
man,
point,
a man left a
the,
comment here.
hold on,
After
hold on, hold
18
on, hold
years,
on,
they still had
hold
to
on,
cut it off.
hold on. What I am communicating is this: that this platform will help us learn, let the society learn that matters of the heart. You can see a very stupid boy. We know he's stupid as men. And you just see one beautiful girl following him up and down.
You will never understand some things, Bishop.
You
Because she
understand?
doesn't know herself yet. That's just
Or maybe she knows herself that's what she wants.
Maybe she knows herself, Uzo. Maybe
And that's
she
what she
does.
wants.
Maybe they work. Some things you just don't understand.
You can't
no, no,
explain it.
no. No, I can't
Now,
agree with that. Because remember, when you don't love
we
yourself,
are men, Uzo.
you,
Listen to
when
us.
you don't love yourself, you will make all sorts of choices.
It's not about, in fact, she loves herself so much that this is what she wants.
Okay.
Some type of women love some naughty men. Naughty. The people that we men consider naughty.
Remember
Mm.
that the
They
definition
don't
that we
dress
use.
well. They don't dress well. They are silly. But
No,
you
Bishop,
just
it's
see
not as
some.
simple as that. It's not that simple. There are some things that are going on there. See, we were born into a world where we are being programmed. We are being programmed every single day by the things that we're seeing around us. And the fact is that because we are so corrupt, right? The people that you describe now, that's why you see for my family, even my cousins, we have I have beautiful cousins, siblings, handsome, very good looking, right? Sensible people, right? Some of these people have been in relationships where they're using their mouths to rub the floor, clean the
Yes.
ground. Let me
That's
explain.
what I'm telling
No,
you.
no,
That's exactly what we're saying.
let me explain what I'm
You're
trying to say.
confirming it.
No, let me explain what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is this. The only reason why these things, because other people outside will look at these people and they will think, there's no way this girl, this guy will be, anybody who catches this person will be very lucky,
Uh-huh.
right? That's what they think. But you know, I even have friends like that. You know that this person is being used as a piece of rag. What is the reason why? Because they don't know themselves. The person that other people are admiring from outside, somebody is using them as, and no, let me finish, please. And then other people will see it and say, even this, even because you see, even some actresses, beautiful, famous, everything, accomplished, they are being abused. And then people will say, if it can happen to this person, that means it can happen to anybody. But that is not it. The
Uzo,
thing is,
it's not always black and white,
I'm
though.
no,
telling
no,
you,
let me finish.
gray.
Let me finish, and you
Gray
say
is
what I
a
say. So my
color.
point,
Hi.
my point is, if you know yourself, if you know yourself, you will not, if you actually know, because you can have an inheritance and you don't know you have an inheritance. You know, you'll be begging people to do things for you. And then people will see you and think that you are, oh, this person is poor, they have nothing. But it's simply because you don't know yourself. So anybody that you're seeing who is accepting abuse, the person does not know their value. They see themselves in a certain way. That is what makes you feel you can take it.
Well, okay,
Also,
Tony.
if I
Tony, go ahead.
understood Bishop well, that example he was giving, the the boy may not be ideal from his own lens, from maybe the world's lens for that lady. That's why I was saying this stupid boy. But this woman is head over heels in love with this person. It may not mean that the woman doesn't know what she's doing. Let me give you an
Exactly.
example, and I think I shared it before. Three people, roommates or friends, this is not a story, this is a lived experience. Back in medical school, one guy had been with a girl intimately, and he told the other friend, this person is easy, try your luck. The other person went, also was intimate with the girl. The third person went, the third person is married to the girl.
Mhm.
Can you see?
Those other two people would have said that girl is easy virtue. She's not wife material.
Mhm.
The third person went, is married to the girl,
And
knowing
so,
knowing that the other two people had been with her. The point
Mhm.
I'm making is the way everybody else looks at what is good
Yeah.
for what is compatible, what who is compatible may not be same.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have looked and said, ah, this one easy virtue. But
Mm-hmm.
something about this easy virtue person is what the third person
Mm-hmm.
sees beautiful things that the other two did not see.
Yeah, because
So
wherever he's coming from in his
they may
life,
be
yeah,
compatible. It may not just
yeah,
it may not be that this person has no standards. It may just be that they are compatible, whereas the other we on the outside are looking and judging by other standards. We are saying
he
no.
knows what works for him, right? That's what your
Yes,
point is. He knows what
knows
works for
what
him.
works for it. Despite what
Yeah,
the other two could think of the lady, he
yeah,
knows that this person is good for him. So
yeah.
I'm just trying to say that sometimes it's not so
No,
because
but
we can judge
Tony, simply
friendly
simply
things.
because simply
Yeah.
because those people felt that she was an easy lay, does it
Yes.
mean that she was an easy lay? Does it mean that she's a bad or a bad choice? We don't know that because we don't even know her state of mind when she was interacting with those people and what
Hmm.
made her an easy lay for them, right? Then by the time this third guy meets her, we don't know what her own life experiences are, his own life experiences, and how they found that they were compatible, if they are compatible, because you can be looking from outside and everything looks so let's assume that everything is good, right?
Let's assume
They are the
yes.
ones, yes. It's always possible that one man's meat is another man's poison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which no, that's not because you were saying, oh, don't know yourself, don't know yourself, you don't know yourself. But I'm saying maybe they know, and that this person is the
Then
person for me, even though other people don't see it that way.
can I
It
No,
may
no,
can
not
I
no,
make
no.
a
No,
just
can I
Tony,
help.
make a
the
contribution
distinction
then?
is
Can I
this.
make a
We
contribution
said the
then?
person is a
Yes.
bad boy. So what I'm saying is if the boy
Look,
is
the girl
maltreating her,
it
how
is
can
it
that be
is
what is good for you and you're saying you know yourself? You don't know
hold
yourself
on
by
now.
choosing something that is
Hold on.
maltreating you.
It could be that she knows herself so well that this is the type of man that gives her joy.
The person that is maltreating you,
Yes.
the person that if that is if what is maltreating you, then that means it's not maltreating you. That means you are a
No,
masochist
no.
or you are a sucker
The
for
word
punishment.
who's always the word maltreating,
Mm-hmm.
has a standard way we understand it.
No, we can agree with that one. But that means
Uh-huh.
you can't come and cry to me because there are
It's
people
not
who
oh my goodness, it's not about complaining to you. It's about a standard.
that's okay, yeah.
The person may be complaining, but the fact is that she likes it.
Oh my God.
It happens in
You're
life.
complaining, you like it, but you're complaining.
Oh yes.
That means you're complaining. That means you don't like it. How do you like and not like at the same?
Complain. Yeah.
You know
Oh
what
my
that
goodness.
means? People do it. There's a woman who I talked with her yesterday till over past midnight. Yeah. Crying, 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 crying. He's this, he does this. But you are still there every day. I said, don't talk to me anymore. You know, the thing is this. You say, that means you like it. How can you say I like it? Is this thing you are saying? The thing is that she doesn't know herself because you cannot like and not like something at the same time.
There are some who may not know themselves actually.
That's what
But
it
we
is.
cannot say that any person who has such a situation doesn't know themselves.
All right.
I think that's what we're trying to point out.
Okay.
That
Yes. There are
choices,
exceptions. There are
there are
exceptions
choices people make.
that you can't understand
Yes, it doesn't make sense
this
to you.
why.
You can't
There are
understand
some,
it.
there are some choices relationship wise that I would make that if I share, the world will open their mouth and be like, ha, I am
are
happy.
you are you out
I
of your
am
mind?
You said you
fulfilled.
are happy.
Yes, I am
You said
happy.
you are
I am
happy.
fulfilled. But some other person would hear the nature of my relationship and they'll be like, he
But
must be
you said you are happy. Are you going to
going.
complain to me about something you are happy about? No, you won't. Right? You can't complain
Yeah.
about it because you said you are
No, no,
happy.
no, the issue is not the complaint here. The issue is the standards. Sometimes we narrow these standards and think that it must be like this in every
You must
situation.
use my
All
own
I am
standards.
saying, yes,
Mhm.
no, that the standard for what loving relationship should be must meet my lens
It's not
But I
possible
am
now.
saying that it doesn't always have to be like that. So this is not about complaints. My pushback, slight pushback, is not about people complaining. It's about making one standard the same for everyone. People see differently.
We can't,
And
yeah, we
so,
can't.
what I am doing in my relationship, for you, it may be wild. You may be
We
like,
can't.
no.
We already know that.
If you don't know me, you will think that I don't know myself. I'm shortchanging myself, but I am having a blast. I am having the best time of my life. But if you
Like,
And I,
hear about the dynamics of my relationship, you will say, oh, he doesn't value himself because you are used to seeing things in a certain way. So I'm saying we can't say
there's no
that
straight jacket.
one way
There's no straight jacket for these things.
for people to exist
except
together.
except that
Hmm.
except that when when there's some things that are basic, right? There's some things that are basic. And see, as human beings, we have this strong need for connection. And that makes us overlook a lot of things, right? Things that, because if you really sit down, the person who says, I'm happy with this thing, the reason they'll be saying that is it is something that other people will look at and say, but how can you be happy with this thing? And then they will insist, but I'm happy with it. The real question is, if this thing was not this way, and if it was this other way that people are saying this is what you should be aiming for, would you not prefer this other one? That's the question. The reason I say it is because there's a lady that I was talking with, right? She was supposed to practice medicine in the US from Nigeria. She was applying to the UK to go. She had done her internship and everything, and she was going to the UK. And then she was now going to get married to this guy somewhere along the line. And the guy was based in the US. And he said that she should forget about the UK one, that when they get to the US, she will do her medicine in the US. She'd done house job, everything, housemanship, right? So they got to the US, lo and behold, the man locked the door. You are not going to work. This is someone who had done medical school and everything. Said she's not going to work. And then she said to me, imagine that even to buy sanitary towel, I had to ask him to buy underwear. I had to ask him everything. And even her home where she was coming from, she was living a more comfortable life. She'd already done house job, right? She was living a more comfortable life than what she was now living with this man in the US. And so she was like, how can I be living like this? And then she said, do you know that even if this man was chasing women, carrying women, that would not have been my problem. And I was like, come on, why are you saying that? Come on, at that time I was still thinking that everybody, there's no what there's when you hear those women saying, after all, he comes home to me. I was still thinking they're just talking. But she said, no, 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 no. She said, no, I'm serious. I said, what do you mean by that? Will you stop? She said, no, because where I come from. Then she explained where she comes from. In their place, all my aunties, they know all their husbands' side chicks. To them, it's nothing. So she grew up like that. So if you've grown up like that, right? I from my own perspective and the way I look at life, I'll be like, nobody can be happy with this. But no, for some people, it's nothing. So that's why we can't use our own standards for other people. But the real question is this thing that you're saying that you're happy with, if it was this other way, would you prefer that over this one? That's when you really know whether that's okay for you, right? Because as I said, we're corrupted by the world that we come and meet, and the things that we think that we are accepting, we're okay with. Maybe it is something else that has just made us think that we're okay with it. Given a different set of circumstances, would you really be okay with it? Or would you prefer the other one? You know?
Or maybe you will never know. Maybe there are different ways to find happiness and fulfillment, and it's all okay for everyone. No one is
Well,
right.
happiness
Wrong.
is the
No
goal.
one is wrong as long as
Happiness
you're
is the
happy.
goal. So I think Tony, you didn't say anything about the man and the girl he sent to school, and then we can wrap up.
I actually wanted us to, this topic, on this subject, because one of the reason people stay in abusive relationships, in fact, there are several of them, they're hoping for change. They're
Mhm.
thinking that the more I do and do and do, the more I bend and bend and bend, maybe this man, maybe this woman would finally, change or finally love me. Sometimes it's because they think they've invested too much.
Yeah.
Like, I have taken this all these years,
Yes.
14 years,
How can I
15
give
years,
up
20
now?
years.
Yeah.
How can I give up now?
Yeah.
And so they continue
And you've
in.
already even lost so many years.
Yes. So you think, where do I want to start from? And
Yeah.
that keeps you in that place of abuse,
Yeah.
right? There's also cultural pressure, there's also religious pressures. You are in a place where you are not valued. You are in a place where the woman is doing anyhow. The man is going out bringing disease back for you. And the church is telling you divorce is wrong, divorce is wrong. You have to keep treating gonorrhea and herpes and all
They're
sorts of
telling
STDs
you will teach your
every day.
children generational divorce.
Yes. That's another reason people stay, for religious reasons, for cultural pressures, sometimes fear of the unknown. Like, what will happen? This man has been my world all these years. Everything I know is around him. Despite the shabby way that he has treated me, he's everything. If I venture now to leave and say I want to go find myself, how will I land? Where will I land? Fear of the unknown. So those are some of the reasons people keep staying in abusive situations.
There is a major one you have not mentioned, and I
Okay.
know that the one about religion is uppermost in your mind. But oh yes, it's
It's
clear.
not, it's one of one of them.
Okay. Another very serious reason is children.
Yes.
I have been listening to you. I thought you were going to say that first.
Oh yes,
But
I'm
the
actually
one of
coming there.
religion, the one of religion
I
was
thought
more
he did.
important.
No, I thought he'd mentioned children.
I actually said
Did
it
not.
earlier, but yes. Yeah.
Now he didn't mention children. A lot of
Yes.
women after having two children are like, why do I want to go and start all over?
Or that the
Yeah,
children need a two-parent home.
exactly. In fact, children is a lot of times a more serious reason.
No, it's just a facade. It's a lie. It's a lie that people tell themselves. It is because it's an automatic thing that people have absorbed because we hear it all the time. When you hear something over and over and over, you absorb it. Because if you really sit down to think about it, what you're exposing these children to observing is doing more harm than good than
It's
the
a
thing that you
toxic
think that yeah.
environment that they will be growing up with.
Yeah,
They would
but
normalize that.
my the only caveat I want to introduce is that it is true that God hates divorce. It is true.
Yeah, but okay.
I said let me just introduce that caveat. He hates divorce.
Yeah, it will help your conscience to make sure that you didn't live here without dropping it, right? God hates
Okay.
True.
divorce because of the effects of the divorce. And in
Hmm.
fact, for
Yes.
even the thing that even leads to the divorce is what he hates, right? So a person cannot go to sleep and be saying, but I can't do it because God hates divorce. Because that feeling of the guilt of God hates divorce is enough to make the person, your full focus is filtered and just seeing God hates divorce. When I do this thing now, this and that will begin to happen to me.
We have seen cases where it actually worked, but that's not to say that what people are saying is not true. I have a testimony of where it worked,
Where what worked?
where trusting God and going through the rubbish worked.
Going through the rubbish.
Yeah, the rubbish of abuse, the rubbish
Hmm.
of
That
maltreatment. I
that is
have.
not.
Don't question a specific testimony. You can talk around where it failed. I'm talking about a specific case where it worked. This is not statistics. It's not
No,
about
but
data.
no, but this is life now. This is life.
That's what I'm saying.
Things will
There is
happen
no
like that,
war.
right?
There's no war that consumes everybody.
What I would have liked to say, which you didn't. What
I'm
I
sure
would
he
like to say
didn't.
is
I'm sure he didn't hear what I said.
no. What I would like to say is
I
that
said there is no war that consumes everybody. Somebody will always remain alive.
no. What I would like to say is that the person who stayed through the abuse and the thing
Also,
slowly.
didn't think about what I'm saying. You did
No,
not
that's
think
what I want
about
to
it.
address. That's what I want to address.
I'm
You said there's
saying
no
that there
war
is
that
no war.
consumes everybody.
Somebody
No,
must always.
but you need to also look at it this way. The person stayed in the abuse and eventually things worked out. Do we consider the person doesn't need to have stayed there? Things would still work out if they are meant to work out between them because of things that will happen in their life. It
that
doesn't, you
one,
don't need to be
that
in that
one is
fire to
we are
end them.
presenting a probability.
Okay.
The reason is this because you, your earthly,
you're
you as an
introducing a
earthly,
probability.
we as
I'm
earthly
talking about
parents.
a specific case.
The reason I'm saying is that will blind people because we as earthly parents, right? The thing that you won't want to put your child through. I know that if we say we believe in God, God will not want to put the person through. Like, how can God create a person to lose their dignity and everything
You
in the
see,
name of that he hates divorce? That's not my
these are
God.
no,
That's not the God that me.
these are the
That's not my own
problems.
God.
These are the problems.
That's even the devil. Those people are worshiping Satan and they say it's God that they're worshiping.
Why don't you stay within the confines of experience? I am discussing a specific experience, and
I addressed it.
you are
No, I
bringing
addressed
hyperboles and probabilities.
no, I
Okay.
addressed it. See, just
Let me.
because they stayed there and it's happened doesn't mean that it wouldn't still have happened if they didn't stay. In fact, what they did is that they
It's
gave
a
the world an
probability.
example.
What you're discussing is
They are giving the world a
hypothesis.
bad example, teaching people that another person can abuse another person. And that is why
I
it
am
happens.
I
If
am
we refuse
saying that
it, it won't
somebody,
be happening.
you cannot question somebody's experience.
No, I can't.
But you can say it may not, there are others he has not worked for. We can give that, we can
No,
concede
no,
to
that's not
that.
what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. It's not that I'm saying that others may not. I am saying that just because that is what eventually happened does not mean that there aren't two roads to the same destination. That's what I'm saying. Because I
What I'm
always
saying,
tell people,
what you're
first of all,
saying,
extract yourself from the abuse. The
what you're
relationship you don't
saying,
want to lose, you may still salvage it, but you don't have to
what you're
lose your
saying
head
is,
for it.
what you're discussing is hypothetical. Yes, but I am
It's not
discussing
hypothetical.
probability one. I am discussing probability
No, because
one.
how can we sit here as human beings and actually do or say
Uzo is not
anything
listening to me. Hey,
that will
Jesus.
encourage
You're
another
not
person?
listening. You're just talking what you want to say. You're not
No,
listening what I'm
no,
saying.
because no, I think it is sheer wickedness. See, Bishop,
No,
see,
no,
no, we cannot
no,
encourage
no,
a
no,
human
no.
being,
I won't agree.
no
I won't
matter
listen to
what we
what you're
want to
saying.
say in this
No,
world.
no, no, no,
Encourage
no, no,
somebody
no.
to think
I'm
in a
closing
way
my
that
ear.
will
No,
allow
no,
them
no,
to
no,
live
no,
in
no, no, no,
abuse.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no,
Let,
no.
let me step in here and ask you both,
Yes.
for the benefit of our listeners,
Audience.
our audience. Staying with this case that we started with, right? Somebody
Uh-huh.
who has been in an abusive position as this woman, and we
Oh my
saw, we
gosh.
cited other examples. What advice? And I know that abuse happens in different ways, so there's probably not a one size fits all, but what are like
Exactly.
the basic things that people living a situation of abuse, maybe similar to this woman, what are the things that they can do? And for people who are not in abusive relationships, how can they prevent themselves from being victims? Are there things that they can pay attention to that can prevent them, or works that they need to do personally that can prevent them from becoming victims of abuse?
Let me start so that Uzo can conclude.
Okay.
You have said it all by saying that there is no one standard practice that fits all situations. However, we can learn from experiences and be able to proffer solutions from other people's experiences. I have seen people that married armed robber, very aggressive characters, and are able to tame them. I say I have seen. I'm not saying it may have happened. I have seen people that married very violent people, and somehow, okay, let me share one testimony, one example. A certain lady was going to deeper life. Her husband was a very successful businessman, and the man could not understand why his wife, that he has done everything for, a woman he loves so passionately, should be going to join those stupid people. What is she looking for there? The man resorted to treating her very shabbily. One day, the lady was coming from night vigil and got to the front of the door. The man, knowing where his wife has gone, to lock the door to make sure that he punishes his wife when she comes back. The gentleman woke up very early and opened the door, and the wife, who was reclining on the door, fell into, and the man started crying. You mean this is my wife? A woman I love with all my heart. What has brought you down? What do you need in life that you're going to this thing for? Look at how you're falling down in front of your own door in your own house. The man resorted to go and follow him to that church so that he can discover the juju that they made for her. I'm talking about a life experience.
I don't really understand.
I'm talking, just wait for me to finish. You don't have to understand. When I finish, you take over so you can conclude. So the lady, the man now forced the woman to take him to the church. His intention was to go there to debunk whatever has been done in the life of his wife. Do you know that the man went there and a certain situation in his life got touched in the service? Today, two of them are even members of Deeper Life. And the marriage has never been as sweet thereafter. What am I bringing to the table? We may have all our theories, all our concepts, but there are issues where people, by prayer, by trusting God, by good behavior to the husband who is responsible for all of these abuses, we have seen cases where it worked. We are not going to say, because of all the problems others are going through, that in each case it didn't work. Let's just keep this in view. That's all I'm bringing to the table.
Also, I don't know if you heard the questions I asked. For
Okay, you
somebody
asked, so how do we prevent?
already living in an abusive relationship, like the example we cited, abuse is not always physical. This woman being offered to
Yeah.
demand is abuse, right? And similar situations of abuse. Are there things that we can tell them that can help them? Similar tied to that, for those not in abusive relationships, how can they protect themselves from being victim? How, what are things that they must do, look out for, that can prevent them from being victims of abuse? I think the two are related. Just, to help us finish up and for our viewers to take something from the conversation.
Okay, my response is very simple and straightforward. Whatever it is that is happening, just take a seat and sit down and have another seat in front of you. And the invisible person on that seat is whatever it is that you see as your creator, whether it's God, Allah, or whatever it is, or maybe it is your mother or your father, the person or thing that you know that you can turn your back, that you know that this person has my back. Just have a conversation with that person about what is happening and ask yourself, will they be happy for you to be living with that thing that is happening? That's the only question you need to ask. And you will know that this thing that you're going through, you are just the one who is, you are just being spoiled, you are just being difficult, or you will know that you are, because see, there are again levels of whatever, we have different thresholds, right? I may be going through something that I don't see it as anything, but the moment that you are feeling it, because you can, someone can come and complain about something to you and you will say, is it that small thing that's so trivial, why would you think that that's a big deal? But the thing is, I am not you. For me, that thing is costing me sleepless nights. It's destroying my health. So once the thing is something that I am unable to live with, maybe I don't even have discipline. Maybe I am someone who is so spoiled from where I'm a spoiled brat. But the bottom line is my well-being is at risk here. Maybe I'm foolish. So that's why everybody is different. Can I take it? Can I not take it? If I know that I'm feeling so much pressure, I am in so much pain, the person that loves me is sitting in front of me. Will that person want me to be going through this pain that I'm going through? That's all I need to ask myself. That's why I say don't ever be confused about people come and be asking other people, what do you think? What does it matter what other people think? No matter what I tell you that I think about it, are you able to live with it and maintain your sanity and your health?
Noted. Okay. The point is noted.
Yes. I think for me, my final words would be around the same thing I started with. While sacrifice in a relationship is a beautiful thing, you cannot do it at the point of losing yourself, your identity, your
Mm.
dignity. And in either case, whether somebody already in an abusive relationship or somebody trying to prevent being in one, have take time to, and I
Don't
repeat this every time, almost for every situation,
don't lose yourself.
take the time to know yourself and what makes you tick, what your true values are, and protect those values. Boundaries are very, very important. Boundaries are not you being stubborn. Boundaries are ways of saying, I recognize my worth and I
Hmm.
will not allow myself to be reduced or to be trampled upon. Boundaries learn to say no to things that you are not
Comfortable with.
comfortable with, things that you know in the long run you cannot live with. Don't start now. Don't start now because it's the freedom in quotes, because the word freedom is used to mean different things. But when you make somebody think that they can do anyhow, that's how they will continue.
To do anyhow.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
from day one, things that you won't take. I'm not saying fight, I'm not saying quarrel, but gently and um, resolutely too. Lay down, no, this you can't. If somebody continually violates those boundaries, they don't love you, they don't respect you, they are not good for you. I think that those would be my final
Oh,
word.
okay. I
Yeah.
actually say, instead of even saying to someone, no, don't do this, you can't do this to me, I don't accept this, you can't do it to me, I actually say, I want you to be happy. And I see that this thing is difficult for you. So I don't want to put you under pressure. I will release you, right? That way, I'm not trying to force you to do you understand? I'm now
Mm.
giving you you have the option, right? So I release you, like, and we're not quarreling, especially when I say that I actually love this person. I'm not going to fight with you. So I'm just going to give you the option. And then secondly, when we're looking at things as I want to do for myself, it's more difficult. That's why I said instead of when you think you're doing something for yourself, you make counterproductive decisions. When you think you're doing something for someone else, it's always opposite. So instead of looking at what will I do in this situation for myself, let me see it as a person that I love, or maybe it's my sister going through it, or it's my child going through it. What will I tell my child or my sister to do in this situation? Because once you look at yourself, you always feel strong, right? We will feel, I can take it. In fact, we'll start saying, I will make the sacrifice. Bishop, are you sleeping?
Nope. Why should I be?
Okay, because I can't see through your glasses. So whenever we think of ourselves, we see ourselves as able to make sacrifices. But the moment that it is someone else that we love that we're considering, all our common sense will come and be at home and we'll be able to make a sound decision, right? I've given my own final word. Did you hear what I said?
Of course, I did.
Okay, so you can
Well,
close.
my own final note is I am a preacher and I believe in it with all of my heart. We don't own ourselves, and God is involved in everything we do. Try and convince yourself that you have done all you can for this relationship to work, all you can within the limits of what scripture provides. I can't see scripture tell a lady to go sleep with another man who's
Mm-hmm.
a, who her husband is owing. Therefore, she overstretched herself beyond the limits of the word of God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She
And
was
then
even trying to
two,
play God. She was trying to
yeah,
play God.
so in the process of making sacrifice, you don't have to be caught stealing. No.
Mhm.
Even God will not approve of your actions. There's
Exactly.
something they say in the law of contract. The subject matter in a law of contract must always be legal or legal, yes.
Right?
You cannot be entering into a contract to do prostitution.
On an illegitimate
Yeah,
mission.
yeah.
Exactly.
So this answers it. But at the same time, I do know that there's a lot of ignorance out there.
Yeah.
People need counseling, people need mentors, people need to stay close. The church provides a platform, conversations like this provide a platform,
I almost
one on
want
one
to
conversations.
recalibrate that thing. Your church. I would want to even call the other pastor, name them because these days,
Well, so these are mentorship platforms that can help you make valid decisions when you are not sure of what you're doing. This is my submission in this conversation. God bless us
thank
all in
you.
Jesus' name.
Thank you. Thank you,
Amen.
everyone that joined. Thank you. I can see you there. Thank you for joining our conversation. And we're wrapping it up now. Our conversations are focused on, or let me say, are directed towards helping us to refocus because we take
Yeah.
decisions on the surface without looking deep.
Deep, yeah.
And the things that we're resolving are just symptoms. When you're dealing with symptoms, that's why you never get a resolution. But when you look at it and you see the root cause of what is happening, then you can tackle the issue. So if you haven't listened to the conversation, do well to, right? Especially for those people who have people that they need to counsel or are thinking about something by themselves and trying to walk through something and make sense of the situation they find themselves. And with that, we close this episode. Thank you, Bishop, for joining. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jane.
God bless.
All right. Okay. Bye bye.
Amen. Amen.